Hey!
Yo! Jess Hilarious is on maternity leave, and Lauren LaRosa is a little late this morning. Charlamagne the God.
Peace to the planet. It's Monday.
Back to the work week. Good morning.
Yes, Jess maternity leave should be over soon. The return of Jess Hilarious official is sooner than you think.
I hope so.
Okay?
Yes. Miss my sis.
What an exciting time to be alive, man. We are a wake up, a simple wake up, a day and a wake up till election day.
That is right.
That's right.
Did you early vote yet?
No, I'm actually going to early vote today because I'm not.
You?
Why? What you mean? Can't I? Why can't I?
I thought early voting was just until November 3rd.
No.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. In Jersey, it's just.
You sure?
Yes. Because I tried to go yesterday, but I missed the time. I thought it was until 6 o'clock. And I got there, I think, at like 4:05, and they stopped at 4. So I was like, I'll come back tomorrow. And then they said, no, you got to come back Tuesday.
Oh, well, I guess I'll be voting on Tuesday.
Yeah.
I had planned to go today.
I thought I was trying to go yesterday, but no.
I didn't know.
Early voting is over.
Oh, the time frame was up.
The time frame was up, yes. So you can't go until Tuesday.
I'll go tomorrow morning then.
That's right.
Damn, I got to go early because I'm going to D.C. tomorrow. I'm definitely going to D.C. tomorrow.
Yeah, so you got to figure that out. Yeah, you got to go early.
I just go early.
What time to vote? Well, they don't open to 6 or 4. Some 6. We got to figure that out.
Early in the morning.
I got to vote too.
But what is exciting time?
It
man.
is.
Kamala Harris, Donald Trump. Tomorrow's election day. I don't know why this feels different. This don't feel like other elections. It really doesn't. Like this feels like, you know how they always say the most consequential election of your lifetime?
Yes.
This one feels that way.
Yeah.
In a real way.
Yeah. It does. No, it absolutely positively does. And I think I feel more into it now, especially because we were in the commercials, and every time I go somewhere, somebody be like, I seen you in the commercial.
Oh, I don't give a damn. To be honest with you, I don't give a damn about that.
I see it all the time, and people come up to me and talk to me more about this election than any other election. So I think that's the reason why.
I just give a damn about where I feel like the future of our country is going. So that's why I feel like
should go. Yeah, absolutely.
Or should go. No, well, where it's going. By the way, it's going that way regardless. Mm-hmm. Okay. You just have to know that. That's the other thing. Like, regardless of who wins tomorrow, America really has to do some real soul searching. Because I can't believe we're here in this position that we're in, where you have somebody like a Donald Trump who can be so bigoted, right? Mm-hmm. And who can literally, there's women in this country right now that have less rights right now than they did when I was born in 1978. Think about that.
Yeah.
So think about that. So, yes, we have some real soul searching to do as a country. But tomorrow, the soul searching begins.
That's right. Tomorrow is election day.
Tomorrow, you get to decide what kind of country you want to be.
So make sure you get out there.
That's just the truth to the matter.
And vote. Now, I want to salute Lauren LaRosa, who's on the way. I hope I'm sure she's listening. Over the weekend, I got a chance to take my son to his first professional Major League Soccer game. The New York City Football Club out in Queens. When I say it was, my son had the most amazing time watching soccer. Now, I've been to everything. I've been to Major League Baseball games. I've been to World Series. I've been to Super Bowls. I've been to playoffs in the NBA. But when I say soccer, when I say they take it serious, my son was right along with them cheering, and he had such an amazing time. So salute to the New York City Football Club for inviting us. Thank you, Lauren LaRosa, for setting that up. We had such an amazing time. If you ever get into soccer, or if you want to check out your local professional team, you definitely should take your kids. It was my son had a great time. It was cold,
crazy.
Though.
It's crazy that the Giants and Jets suck so bad that you got New Yorkers that have to go to football now. I love football. I love football.
Football.
I love football. Okay? It's a great sport. Salute to the MLS. But the fact that the Giants and Jets suck so bad in the middle of the season that you in here with a New York City Soccer Club football, whatever jersey on,
New York City
and you
Football
took your
Club.
son to the game.
I did.
Because you tired of taking him. You tired of the tears. Every time you take him to go see the Giants, you just end leaving tears. You tired of that, huh?
How'd your Cowboys do this weekend?
We suck.
Okay.
All right. But it's okay.
Sure.
All right.
You still going to the Super Bowl?
Yes, we are.
Yo, shut up! My goodness. All right.
What you mean? As a Cowboy fan, I am obligated to say we're going to the Super Bowl until we are no longer in Super Bowl contention.
Now, U.S. Representative for South Carolina, Nancy Mace, she'll be joining us this morning. And also, Khanna and Ja Moore. Now, Khanna is a U.S. representative from California.
That's right.
J.A. Moore is from South Carolina.
Yes, he is.
And we're going to be talking to them in a little bit. But when we come back, we got front page news. Morgan will be joining us. It's the Breakfast Club. Good morning. Morning, everybody. It's DJ NV, Jess Hilarious, Charlamagne the God. We are the Breakfast Club. Lauren LaRosa is here.
Yes, good morning.
And let's get in some front page news. Now, sports over the weekend. The Commanders beat the Giants. The Bills beat the Dolphins. Titans beat the Patriots. The Chargers...
Oh, that was me. I'm sorry.
Chargers beat the Browns. Cowboys got squashed by the Falcons. Bengals beat the Raiders. Cardinals beat the Bears. Ravens beat the Broncos. Rams beat the Seahawks. Eagles beat the Jaguars. The Lions beat the Packers. Vikings beat the Colts. And in Monday Night Football, the Buccaneers take on the Kansas City Chiefs at 8:15. What's up, Morgan?
What's up? What's up? Hey, happy Monday to y'all. Y'all feeling all right?
Yes, indeed.
All right. So, an unfortunate breaking news. Legendary record producer Quincy Jones, he has passed away at the age of 91. It's reported that the Grammy award-winning entertainer died peacefully at his home in Bel Air, California on Sunday, surrounded by family. But I'm sure you guys are going to get more into that. Let's switch gears and get into this election news. So, tomorrow is Tuesday. It's the big day, November 5th. Front page news. Make sure you exercise your right to vote. And of course, shout out to all the first time voters. You know, you got a big responsibility tomorrow. So Vice President Harris, she says she's cast her ballot in this year's election. The Democratic presidential nominee revealed on Sunday that she completed and mailed in her California ballot. Her running mate, Minnesota Governor Tim Walz, voted early in person last month in his home state alongside his son. Former President Trump has yet to cast his vote, or at least let us know. Speaking of which, this comes as VP Harris had a busy weekend with stops in Georgia, North Carolina, and Pennsylvania. She also made a surprise appearance on Saturday Night Live with comedian Maya Rudolph, who plays
Amazing
VP Harris
sketch
on the show. Yes.
Incredible sketch.
The VP and her lookalike joked about her laugh, her name, and Donald Trump while she gave herself a pep talk in what's supposed to appear as a mirror. Let's take a listen to Harris's skit on SNL.
Now, Kamala, take my Pamela. The American people want to stop the chaos
and end the drama
with a cool new stepmamala. Kick back in our pajamas and watch a rom-kamala.
Like Legally Blondula.
And start decorating for Christmas. Fa la 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 la. Because what do we always say? Keep Kamala and carry on a la.
Yeah, so that skit, or that was partial of the skit, appeared to be a copy of that of Jimmy Fallon he did with former President Trump back in 2015. But the skit, nonetheless, was still amazing, still cool. Meanwhile, a commissioner from the Federal Communications Commission, or the FCC, he took to X to air his grievance with Kamala Harris's appearance on SNL. Commissioner Brandon Carr posted on X that Harris's appearance violates equal time rules that regulate political programming. Now, he called the appearance biased and partisan conduct. The FCC guidelines read equal opportunities generally mean providing comparable time and placement to opposite candidates. Now, on Sunday, that was rectified, and former President Donald Trump was given ad time during NBC's NASCAR broadcast and also afforded an additional 60 seconds of campaign time during Sunday night football coverage.
Well, I'm see. The only reason I like the FCC commissioner doing that is because as a radio personality here, folks don't understand that. Like, if you bring on one side, if the other side requests to come, you have to bring them on.
That's right.
Like, people don't understand that. Like, they be so upset. Oh, I can't believe y'all have such and such.
You gave somebody a platform.
That's the way it works.
They understand the rules and regulations.
That's the way it used to be in media, where you would know that would happen. Like.
But we say it all the time.
You would know.
Yeah, but now people act like it's so strange. But back years ago, that was normal. You would expect it.
You have to do it. Like, it's FCC rules and regulations. If you bring on one side, whatever time you give them, you got to give the other side the opportunity to speak.
The same amount of time. That's right.
You just do. Yep. That's the way it goes.
Equal time. And of course, you guys, you know what's going on in D.C. Of course, the election is tomorrow, and they are already taking security steps and measures. We'll talk more about that at 7 a.m. So stick around for more front page news then.
All right. Everybody else, get it off your chest. 800-585-1051. Let us know how your weekend was, what you did, all that good stuff. 800-585-1051. Get it off your chest. It's The Breakfast Club. Good morning.
The Breakfast Club. It's your time to get it off your chest, whether you're mad or blessed.
So you better have the same energy.
We want to hear from you on The Breakfast Club.
Hello, who's this?
This is Margaret from Queens.
Hey, Margaret. Good morning. Get it off your chest, Margaret.
Good morning. I'm just happy news today. I just want to thank you so much for talking about HBCUs, colleges, And now my granddaughter goes there, Zaria Johnson. She's in Morgan State.
Oh, okay. Oh, congratulations.
And I just want to wish her a happy belated birthday.
Hey, what part of Queens are you from?
October 28th. I live in Springfield Gardens.
Oh, Springfield Gardens. Okay. Well, congratulations. What made you pick? Go ahead.
Because you talk so much about these colleges and how good they are and what they're doing for the community and everything. So I made sure to tell her, make sure you HBCU college because it seems to be doing good for the black community.
Absolutely. Well, thank you, Margaret.
So happy birthday, Zaria. October 28th was her birthday, and I didn't get to speak to her. So I hope somebody is listening and can tell her that her grandma is wishing her happy birthday.
Okay, Margaret.
Your radio.
Grandma, you didn't her grandma didn't get to talk to her because she was partying at school?
Probably not.
Now, Margaret, you got to throw a little couple dollars in her. Throw a little couple dollars on her phone, like $20, $40. That'll help her, wash her laundry and all that other stuff.
I do that.
Okay.
I do that. She knows she can come to grandma for anything because that's the first grandchild, so she's spoiled.
Oh, she's spoiled. Okay.
I'm the first grandchild too. I love that life for her.
Thank you, Grandma.
Okay, bye.
Have a good one.
They spoil you too, Lauren?
What, my grandmother? What? You can't tell her nothing about me.
Really? Mm-hmm. You need to give her her wigs back, though.
Oh my goodness. Hello, who's this?
You starting early, huh, boy?
Hello?
I said that.
Hello?
Hey, what's your name?
Oh, my name is Marcella.
Hey, Marcella.
Good morning, Marcella.
Get it off your chest.
Okay, so I have 3 things I'm going to make quick. I wanted to get off my chest, DJ Envy. I wanted to shout you out for all the mental stuff that you do, especially around suicide. My brother committed suicide years ago, and I've had a few students tell me that they want to take their lives, and I've shared my brother's story. And one of the ideas I want to share with you the next time you approach the topic, I don't know if they do it, but maybe have those who contemplated speak to those who survived it, who survived the suicide of a loved one. Because when I spoke to my students who said, I don't want to be here anymore, and I saw how my brother's suicide still affects my family and my parents, I could see the difference in their face. They don't realize that taking their life is going to have a big impact on a loved one. So
have you ever been to the Mental Wealth Expo that I do every year? We have a whole breakout room panel about that. But my guy Jay Barnett, he's a person who actually survives 2 suicides himself. But then you have people, who actually come to the Mental Wealth Expo who have had family members, close relatives commit suicide. And you're right, they talk about the grief that they feel, having to deal with losing a loved one, the suicide.
Yeah, I think that's beautiful. Charlamagne, I would like to shout you out because from the very beginning you said I pay attention to things that Trump say and pay attention to what's going on behind the scenes. And he is a magician. He'll have you looking to the left and really it's the right you should be paying attention to. And I just want to reiterate that, especially with tomorrow being Election Day. And the last thing is the blast. The Free Village Central School District and East Pawtucket. My nephew, Dalen All-Star Thomas, plays quarterback, the senior count. And for the last 4 years, he had to deal with racism and racist comments, not only from his teammates and his classmates, but even from his coach, to the point where now his mom had charged and involved in a lawsuit against the district because he's been exposed to the N-word numerous times. They sent some nooses to the point where she even had the priest get involved, but persevered. And I'm just hoping that this lawsuit goes through and Free Village gets the root of it so it don't happen to another black child or a child of color who parents just want to expose them to a better education.
Yes,
well, thank you so much.
Not sacrifice their mental health.
Well, thank you again. And salute to everybody. And I just want to tell everybody out there, there's always another way and there's always help out there. In my book, Real Life, Real Love, I talk about what, 10, 12 years ago when I wanted to commit suicide and almost did. And we discuss it in longevity, or in length, about the process and everything that I had to go through. And I do go to a bunch of different schools and a bunch of different places talking to students and kids that have that on their mind. And it's easy to say, well, they shouldn't be thinking about that, but being in that position and having that thought process at one time, I understand what you guys are going through, and I understand. I've been there. I've been at my lowest at times. So and we will continue to do that. And maybe I need to talk about that more because we go to a bunch of different schools a lot. But yeah, I'm glad that
you just got to tell people not to make a permanent decision based off temporary feelings.
Yeah, no, absolutely. But you know, the main thing is people feel like in life would be better without them there. That their family would be better without them there, and they put that in their mind, and I even put that in my mind, and it's something that I had to really, to really find within myself and do work on myself to figure out a better solution and a better way, of course. But I'm glad that your students and your relative was able to take the other route. All right, get it off your chest. 800-585-1051. If you need to vent, hit us up now. It's The Breakfast Club. Good morning.
The Breakfast Club.
I'm dialing. Hey, what you doing, man? I'm dialing. I'm
calling you. This is your time to get it off your chest, whether you're mad or blessed. 800-585-1051. We want to hear from you on The Breakfast Club.
Hello, who's this?
Yo, this is Chris.
Chris, what's up, brother? Get it off your chest.
What's up, man? Good morning, man. Good morning. I just want to
Chris.
say, man, Wayne did his thing at the Louisiana Fest, man. That was classic. That was for the culture, and I love that, man.
Lauren was there. Yeah, I seen some of the clips.
Yeah, I seen Lauren there, man. I know Charlamagne go crazy over Kendrick, man, but they supposed to have Wayne at that Super Bowl, but I feel like this was a little better than the Super Bowl.
You think so? Because
they do all the classics.
They've been arguing online about that since the show yesterday.
Yeah, but that's silly, and I'll tell you why it's silly. That Hot Boys reunion was perfect for Louisiana Fest. You know why? Because when you think about the Super Bowl, I know it's in New Orleans, but it's literally a national event. Like, the reason that Louisiana Fest and that Hot Boys reunion hit so hard was because it was in New Orleans. That wouldn't have happened. That wouldn't have hit so hard anywhere else. And be hung up on the guy, per usual.
Mm-hmm.
Why you hang up?
I didn't hang up. He hung up, actually. I didn't touch it. Hello, who's this?
What's up?
What's up?
This is Anna.
Hey, Anna.
Peace,
Good morning.
Anna.
Get it off your chest.
I'm waking up this morning with a heavy heart. We lost Quincy Jones, American legend, one of the best composers of the 20th century, from his first hit to the last, including Off the Wall, Thriller, and Bad, and We Are the World.
I love Quincy Jones, but that brother was 91 years old. That brother lived. You hear me? That brother lived. He lived a life.
28 Grammys,
life, a
an
full
Emmy.
life.
He produced the hit show Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, The Color Purple. I mean, he wrote the theme song from The Cosby Show. I mean, we could talk about Michael Jackson, Ray Charles,
That man
Frank
lived
Sinatra.
a full life.
Yes, he did.
Okay, him and Clarence Avant were two of my favorite people to watch. So only thing I can when I hear stuff like that, I'd be like, damn, God bless. I don't even feel any sense of sadness because he lived a full life.
Yeah, we gonna take some time to pay tribute to him this morning too. So keep listening.
Yeah, I hope you guys
will,
because he transcends culture. Movies, just like Envy said, composing the theme to, I think it was Mission Impossible, the original Mission Impossible.
Yep.
You know a Quincy Jones song when you hear it. He is the 20th century when it comes to pop culture. It's heavy. Yes, he lived a long life. And it was an extraordinary life, and I just hope everybody takes the time to recognize how much he touched every part of the world.
I mean, it's so much out there about him. You got his books, you got his documentaries. Like Quincy Jones produced for Frank Sinatra. Like when you have stuff like "Fly Me to the Moon," like it's like he did.
Michael
that man
Jackson,
lived a
Ray
full
Charles,
life.
I mean, so many, yeah, absolutely.
Full life.
Yeah, a full life.
Well, thank you, Mama, for calling in this morning.
Hey, I want to also tell everybody to go out and vote tomorrow as well. It's important, and don't forget it.
Alrighty. Get it off your chest. 800-585-1051. We got Jess With The Mess with Lauren LaRosa coming up.
We do. We are going to actually pay tribute to Quincy Jones.
All right.
Talk about his life and his legacy.
All right. We'll get into that next. It's The Breakfast Club. Good morning.
The Breakfast Club.
Morning, everybody. It's DJ Envy, Jess Hilarious, Charlamagne the Guy. We are The Breakfast Club. Let's get to Jess With The Mess with Lauren LaRosa.
News is real. Whether it's Jess Hilarious, Jessica Robin Moore, just don't do no lies.
She don't spare nobody.
Worldwide Jess, worldwide Mack.
On The Breakfast Club.
She's a coach of shit.
With Lauren LaRosa.
I'm back.
And I got the mess.
Talk to me.
Now, we lost another legend. Quincy Jones has passed away at the age of 91. His publicist told a few outlets in the AP, according to his rep, that last night, filled with broken hearts, his family decided to share the news that their father and brother Quincy Jones has passed away. Although this is an incredible loss for their family, they said they want to celebrate the great life that he lived and know that there will never be another like him. And man, when you say that there will be another like him in an incredible, full, great life, it's almost like an understatement. He lived so many different creative lifestyles. He was a musician, a songwriter, producer, conductor, arranger, artist, record label owner, executive, TV and film producer, magazine publisher, humanitarian, author. Like, there's just so much that he did, and he spanned across so many different genres: R&B, pop, classical music, like just so many different things. He was a 28-time Grammy winner. He won an Academy Award, 2 of them actually. He won an Emmy for Roots. There's a lot that he did. I'm not even going to be able to get it in this full segment, but also worth mentioning, he was one of the first black executives to really thrive in Hollywood, and because of that, he helped so many artists be able to put their careers like on their back. He arranged music for Frank Sinatra, Ella Fitzgerald. He composed soundtracks for Roots, In the Heat of the Night. He produced On the Color Purple. He was an EP of The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. He produced, I didn't know this one. I saw this morning when I was reading just about some of his stuff. He produced and organized Bill Clinton's first inaugural celebration. He oversaw the all-star recording of We Are the World in 1985, that charity record that they did for relief in Africa.
There's a documentary.
Thriller.
There's a documentary about that.
Yes, Thriller, Beat It. There's so much.
Off the Wall.
Yes, and we grabbed some of just some of the music and the things that he composed that a lot of people probably wouldn't even know that he had his hand in. I know a lot of it I learned this morning.
That one includes bombs, right?
Yeah.
That's why you should watch this documentary on Netflix, Quincy. It came out, I think, about 5-6 years ago.
I'm gonna watch it.
You learn so much about.
You've always heard about, like I've always heard anyway, and just knowing how many different people across genres and across career paths that he's worked with, just how much of a great composer, and he just was able to. He's kind of like a chameleon. He was able to do so much, and I was saying, I don't think anybody today could do that because he really just took everything out of it, no bias, no anything, just did what he liked to do.
Well, that man lived a full life, 91 years old. We should be so blessed to live that long. But what he did with those 91 years, like we throw the word icon around very loosely nowadays. We throw the word legend around very loosely nowadays. Quincy Jones was the pure definition of all those things.
Absolutely.
I want to also too. Sanford Son theme song. And a doc, Charlotte, you watched the doc, right? Did he talk about like when a lot of these different, earlier in his career, when a lot of these different opportunities would come his way, how he knew which ones to say yes to? Because everything he did was like super legendary, but like was he strategic about that? Or?
It seemed to me like Quincy Jones did what he wanted to do, like, you know, and that's what I respect. I respect longevity. People who aren't defined by an era, they just always find ways to reinvent themselves. That was Quincy. Like, he was the algorithm. He wasn't a surfer. He was the wave. People put themselves in unnecessary boxes nowadays because they give people what they feel they want, not what they need. Correct. Quincy gave you what you need.
Yeah, he was a musician. He created the sound. Like, that's what we don't have now. He's creating the sound for the next generation when he did Michael and when he did all the things that he did, which is amazing. He was so ahead of his time.
Well, one last music listen that I want us to listen to, Austin Powers, the theme song for Austin Powers. I didn't know he did this one either. That tripped me out. That I watched that movie so much.
What happened with that one, he did that in the 60s.
He did the original and they recreated it.
And I don't know if they recreated it, they just used it.
I think they recreated it.
They did?
I think so.
I don't know if they recreated it. He did it in the 60s.
Yeah, he did it in the 60s.
Soul Bossa Nova, and they used it for the Austin Powers.
Correct.
Got you. Got you. Man, to live a life like that.
They said it took him 20 minutes to do that.
20 minutes to do that. And do you know, well, y'all know that the Austin Powers franchise is so big.
It's huge.
And like everything that was probably used for is amazing. Yeah, wow. But I mean, when this morning, like you said, he lived a full life. 91 years old is a long time here. You got to see a lot. I know I went to his Instagram just to see kind of what like some of his last posts were, and the last post I saw was something he posted with his daughter, talking about how he, was just so happy to be her dad. So he lived a life. He had his family, saying RP to the legend, Quincy Jones.
That Austin Powers song, it was used by Judy Garland in the second episode of the Judy Garland Show in 1963. So just think about how that one piece of music, has been used for so many different things. He first did it in 1962. Then it was used for Judy Garland. Then it was used for a couple other movies. The Palm Broker, Take Money and Run. Then it became the Austin Powers song. And he's just an incredible human, man.
Amazing.
To be blessed like that, because he's from Chicago. I was reading about his upbringing. It literally came from like nothing.
That's right.
To be blessed like that.
Watch the doc on Netflix, y'all.
Yeah,
Today
I'm
is a good day
I'm gonna go watch it tonight
to learn more about Quincy Jones. Okay.
All right.
Legend.
All right, that was Jess with the Mess with Lauren LaRosa. Now, when we come back, we got front page news with Morgan Woods. So don't move. It's the Breakfast Club. Good morning. Morning, everybody. It's DJ NV, Jess Hilarious, Charlamagne the Guy. We are the Breakfast Club. Lauren LaRosa filling in for Jess. And let's get in some front page news. Now, in NFL, some quick sports. The Commanders beat the Giants. Bills beat the Dolphins. Titans beat the Patriots. Chargers beat the Browns. The Falcons beat the Cowboys. The Raiders beat the Bengals. The Cardinals beat the Bears. The Ravens beat the Broncos. The Rams beat the Seahawks. Vikings beat the Colts. The Lions beat the Packers. The Eagles beat the Jaguars. And did I say that the Falcons beat the Cowboys? And in Monday Night Football...
Did you hear about how your Giants got beat to the Commanders? See, you lack self-awareness so much that you be trying to clown when your team is at the bottom of the NFC East.
I know that.
Your team got a worse record than us.
But I'm not delirious. I didn't say my team's making it to the Super Bowl.
Neither. So what? It don't matter. My point is, shut up.
No.
Your team is at the bottom of the NFC East.
Though.
So accept it. And don't clown nobody else for what they team doing.
I accept it.
Don't clown nobody
else. You gotta accept being on the bottom as well.
Self-awareness. Think about where you are as a Giants fan.
Accept it.
You got a soccer jersey on right now because your team's so bad in football.
No, I don't have it because my team, because I went to a soccer game this weekend. That's why.
Because the New York football teams are so terrible.
Because my son loves soccer.
Y'all looking at another football.
No, my son loves soccer.
Nope.
Yep. Good morning, Morgan.
Dang, y'all. Good morning. Okay, so tomorrow...
You better stop it. Both of your teams won. You don't even know what fan you are.
Yeah, no, I'm good today. Yeah. Tomorrow is Election Day, y'all. Tuesday, November 5th. On top of Front Page News, make sure you exercise your right to vote. Shout out all the first-time voters. You guys got a big job to do tomorrow. So, yeah. Trump claimed, y'all, the only way he'll lose Tuesday's election is if there's cheating. So he's been busy, and his campaign has been busy attempting to clarify recent comments made by the former president. Over the weekend, the campaign says the GOP presidential nominee was looking out for the media when he was talking about assassination attempts targeting him during a rally in Pennsylvania on Sunday. Let's take a listen to Trump at this rally on Sunday in Pennsylvania.
I have a piece of glass over here, and I don't have a piece of glass there. And I have this piece of glass here, but all we have really over here is the fake news, right? And to get me, somebody would have to shoot through the fake news. And I don't mind that so much, because I don't mind that.
Now,
it's the same type of stuff he do, and then be like, I don't know where it came from.
Yeah, so it's like he'll say that, they'll tell everybody else to tamper down on their rhetoric because that's what causes people to try to assassinate him, but then he'll do things like that and then act like it never happened. He'll act like everybody else is the one that's saying the type of rhetoric that could cause violence. But what was that just now?
Well, in a statement, Trump's campaign spokesman said that he stated the media was in danger and that should have glass, and that they should also have a glass protective shield as well. Yeah, so the spokesman...
You know what you should stop doing, Morgan, and all media should stop doing? Stop trying to explain his BS.
I'm not trying to.
I know you're not. I know you're not. You're just saying you're giving their explanation for it. It sounds ridiculous.
So the spokesman added, there can be no other interpretation of what was said. The statement ended with, he was actually looking out for their welfare far more than his own.
So explain why he said I wouldn't mind that.
I'm about to say that sounds like a green light to me.
And that's what I don't understand when they release these statements. It's like, well, explain why he said I wouldn't mind that then.
Listen, y'all, I'm just reporting it. So meanwhile, Florida Senator Marco Rubio, he's defending former President Trump's comments made by a speaker at one of his rallies. In an interview on CBS's Face the Nation, the Miami Republican downplayed the joke by comedian Tony Hinchcliffe that Puerto Rico was garbage. Let's hear from Florida Senator Marco Rubio in regards to those comments that Trump made.
And a comedian made a joke and it was tasteless, but it wasn't Trump that said it. It wasn't. This guy's not going to be in his cabinet. I mean, this comedian's not going to be a member of his government. He's certainly not running for anything. If it had to be done in hindsight, the guy probably doesn't get invited, okay? Especially with a joke like that. The sitting president of the United States said out loud what most people in the Democratic Party and hierarchy believe, and that is that anyone who votes for Donald Trump is garbage, is a racist, is a hater, is a Nazi.
It's not what he said, though. And I don't even like defending Joe Biden. What he said was anybody who supported that comedian's jokes is garbage.
Yeah, so Rubio, went on to defend Trump's comments again. These are a lot of comments that Trump said about former U.S. Representative Liz Cheney after she endorsed Harris, adding that she wouldn't be a, quote, war hawk if she was standing there with 9 barrels shooting at her. Now, a war hawk is a person who advocates for aggressive foreign policies or armed conflict. Now, Rubio also went on to say that Cheney shouldn't face a firing squad, but was instead trying to make the point that so-called war hawks wouldn't be so pro-war if they were placed on the front lines. Sheesh. This is getting heavy stuff, y'all. Please go out to vote. Anyways, switching gears and bringing things home to New York, a judge is setting a trial date for New York City Mayor Eric Adams on federal corruption charges. Judge Dale Ho set April 21st, 2025 for Adams' trial date to start, which is a month later than the speedier March trial date Adams asked for. Now, Adams faces a possible Democratic primary in June, not long after that, if he stays in the race for re-election. In addition, Adams' attorneys are trying to get the bribery charges against him tossed. Judge Ho said he would consider the arguments made in court and attempt to rule shortly. Meantime, prosecutors also said they're still unable to access the mayor's personal phone 1 year after they seized it. They say Adams changed the password the day before he knew they were coming, and he said he can't remember what that password is. Yeah.
I wonder who Eric Adams voting for.
I know, right? Because lately he's been very vocal about not calling Trump a fascist and things like that. But he's also, along Democratic Party lines. Hochul has been very clear about who she supports.
He's been on the fence.
Yeah, I feel like he got to stay neutral right now, right? Just in case, he might need to call on whoever wins.
He need that pardon me.
But now he forgot the password.
Yes. All right, y'all. So that's your front page news. I'm Morgan Wood. Follow me on social at Morgan Media. And for more news coverage, follow at Black Information Network. Download the free iHeartRadio app and visit us at BINnews.com. Happy Monday.
All right. Thank you, Morgan. Now, when we come back, Roques Khanna and John Moore will be joining us. Of course, Roques Khanna is the U.S. representative from California. John Moore from South Carolina. We're going to talk to him next. It's The Breakfast Club. Good morning.
The Breakfast Club.
Morning, everybody. It's DJ NV, Jess Hilarious, Charlamagne the Guy. We are The Breakfast Club. Lauren LaRosa filling in for Jess. We got some special guests joining us this morning. We got U.S. Representative Roques Khanna from California. And we got J.A. Moore from South Carolina. Welcome.
South Carolina State Representative J.A. Moore.
Yeah. Welcome. How y'all feeling today?
Great to be on.
That's
Good
right.
to be here.
What do you guys think about the rally in New York at Madison Square Garden? What were your thoughts?
Here's the thing. Maya Angelou once said that words are things. Mm-hmm. And you got to be careful about how you use words. Now, I'm a free speech person, but that doesn't mean all speech is good speech. Mm-hmm. We teach our kids to be thoughtful about how they use words because of respect. Mm-hmm. We have had this situation in this country that if you think something is funny, that somehow that's a license to insult people. Mm-hmm. Just because something is funny doesn't mean that you can denigrate people based on their race and gender and just say, oh, okay, I was just making a joke. I thought the vile attacks on racial groups in the context of a political rally was horrendous. And someone needs to say, yeah, okay, you can have humor, but not everything in this country can be justified just because it's funny.
I just thought it was bad politics. It's like, a week before the election, and you're going to need Latino people, you're going to need black people, you're going to need Jewish people, and you just put somebody up there to insult them? It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just another misstep by the Trump campaign and Trump himself. It was a I don't know. I don't even know if it was desperate or not. It was just nuts. Mm-hmm. It didn't make sense. I don't know why you would, with all due respect, I'm a Knicks fan, with all due respect to New York, why you would do a rally in New York anyway when it's not a battleground state. That makes sense. It was a terrible move on his part.
What's the Stop Wall Street landlords like, bro?
You know what's going on right now is private equity. These big companies, they're buying up single-family homes, and they're buying up largely in working-class neighborhoods. By doing that, they're making the prices of these homes go up, and they're making the prices of rents go up, and your and my tax dollars are subsidizing them. So this says stop giving them a subsidy. You shouldn't have Wall Street firms getting tax dollars to go buy up single-family homes. And by the way, they're doing them largely in Black and brown communities across this country, and it's outrageous.
If you stop Wall Street from doing it, how do you make it the way people from the community can actually not just purchase those homes, but have the equity to reinvest into those homes and renovate them?
Well, that's a big question. Why home ownership has gone down, the biggest source of wealth. Home ownership is about 62% in the white community, 45% in the black community. One, you need to build more homes so that you can bring the price down. But the bottom line is you got to have higher paying jobs. I mean, you've had jobs in this country with the working and middle class stagnate in wages. And one of the reasons I wanted to come on, and J.A. and I have been working on, is, I represent Silicon Valley, $12 trillion of value, Apple, Google, Intel, NVIDIA. We've got to create those high-paying jobs in many other parts of America. You look at the bulk of wealth generation in this country over the last 40 years, a lot of it has come out of technology. And whether it's high-paying manufacturing or high-paying technology jobs, we've got to actually do that in communities so people can go have a salary to buy a house. We did a summit, Jaya and I and others, in Claflin with 40 historically black colleges and universities. We got Apple there, we got Google there, we got NVIDIA, we got Microsoft. They've created a program, 71% placement rate, 18-month course, 10 hours a week. You end up with a $65,000 to $100,000 job in different technology skills. It doesn't even require coding. We've got to create more opportunities for people to actually build wealth in a modern economy. That's how they're going to be able to afford housing.
Let me ask you a question, though, right? So I believe in you, and I feel like, especially our community, most of our generational wealth starts from home ownership, right? Passed down from generations to generations. One question I do have is sometimes when they put these laws into effect, it just doesn't affect the people they're trying to get. It affects other people. Let me break it down, right? So, for instance, my dad was a police officer. He retired. My mother worked at a life insurance company, didn't make a lot of money. They saved all their life. They bought their first house for $28,000, right? Lived in that house for 46 years. So now it's worth, let's say, $500,000, $600,000. When they pass, they pay taxes on that house. They paid everything that they needed to pay for the rest of their life. When they pass that house down to their child, they have to pay taxes on that. That child who gets that house has to pay taxes on that again. That's behind the buck for somebody that's trying to make it. Now, if this was somebody else, like let's say a Donald Trump that received $1 million loan and his family has wealth, I understand it. But how can somebody in these communities create wealth when they're getting taxed twice like somebody else? And they don't have the same tax breaks. They don't know their same accountants. That's my only problem when I hear some of these things, because I get it. Yes, people have to pay their fair share. But when you have people that come from those communities that are trying to create generational wealth for the first time millionaires, first time people making $500,000, it affects and hurt them as well.
Especially, too, because a lot of times in those situations, by the time it's passed down to that second or third generation, the mom, dad, grandmother may owe money that now you inherit, and it's a lump sum. So it's not just like, oh, I got to pay the taxes for this year. It might be like a lot of money that they just been figuring it out, and now you know, and now it's in your lap. And you got to figure that out, or you don't own that house anymore.
So what do you say to those people that's saying, like, yeah, I agree, but my mom just sold her, she paid $28,000, I sold it for $500,000, now they're taking 40% taxes on property that she already paid tax. How can they create generational wealth when they're starting behind the 8 ball already?
I hear you. I think we should have an exemption for passing down your actual house to family. Maybe exempt the first $2 million or up to $5 million, and we could figure it out. And that's not going to cost the federal government a lot of revenue. You know what's going on right now, because while you're taxing the guy you're talking about or daughter you're talking about who is getting a $500,000 house passed to them and they're having to pay tax, at the same time you got these multi-billionaires in my district in Silicon Valley. They buy Facebook stock for $1,000. That stock goes up to $100,000. They pass that stock. They don't pay capital gains tax on it. Then they pass that stock down to their kids, and their kids don't pay any of the appreciation. So you've got a rigged system that is hurting the working and middle class from building wealth and allowing the top 1% to continue to build without paying tax. And the Republicans are very clever. Every time we say we want to tax that top 1 or 10%, they talk about all the other 80%. They said your taxes are going to go up. What the Democrats have to say is no. You're working class, you're middle class, you want to build wealth. We're going to give you an exemption. We're going to shift the tax burden to the multimillionaires who have benefited from this system. But one more point to you, and I'm all for home ownership. I think home ownership we've got to figure out more ways to get the disparity not to be 62% in the white community and low 40% to the black communities. But technology, here's what I fundamentally believe. It's a generational opportunity to overcome the racial wealth generation gap. One generation. The black community was excluded in the agricultural revolution with the loans from the USDA that were targeted. Excluded in the manufacturing revolution. Shame on us as a country in 2024 if we exclude communities from the digital revolution. There is an opportunity in one generation to build extraordinary wealth with AI, with new technology, with new industry. And that's what I want to try to say is, why don't we get these opportunities to more of the community so they actually can build wealth, that you never will overcome the racial wealth generation gap just with taxation and redistribution unless you overcome the racial wealth generation gap.
All right, we got more with Khanna and Ja Moore. When we come back, don't move. It's the Breakfast Club. Good morning. Morning, everybody. It's DJ NV, Jess Hilarious, Charlamagne the Guy. We are the Breakfast Club. Lauren Rosa filling in for Jess. We're still kicking it with Khanna, U.S. Representative from California, and Ja Moore from South Carolina. Now, we're 1 day away from elections. How do y'all feel?
I'm hopeful. I'm optimistic. I think that I believe the young people are going to come out and vote for Harris. I think this thing is overblown in terms of just you would know more about the black vote, Latino vote. I mean, a lot of the men I meet, they're voting for her, black men, and a lot of Latino men are voting for her. So I think that she's going to win the Michigan, Pennsylvania. It's going to be close, but I think the polls actually are underestimating her support. And, you made a great point about this image of why is it that we think traditionally of the Republicans as the business party? Because that's all that Donald Trump's running on. Frankly, if he had never had Apprentice, he never would have been president. Hate's not enough to become president. I mean, the Madison Square Garden stuff wasn't enough. It's because he had 14 years in people's living rooms as being this business guy and the Trump sign. And I think we've got to look, all the new wealth, the technology, the innovation, all of that's not being created by the old class. It's a whole new generation. It's a whole new group of entrepreneurs. I consider you guys entrepreneurs. That's the new wealth. That's the new innovation. And I fundamentally believe that's when Kamala Harris says she's for the future, that's what she represents. And I think that's the image that's going to prevail.
And I think it's going to come down to, maybe I'm biased because I'm from South Carolina, but I think if we win North Carolina and we win Georgia, we win. And I've had the pleasure of traveling. I just got back from Nevada. I mean, I feel cautiously optimistic. And everywhere I'm going, I'm in the Uber, and people, the more Donald Trump talks and does crazy stuff like he did here in New York, the better Kamala Harris has. I mean, I feel good about it. I'm cautiously optimistic about it.
It's just interesting to me that, with all of the things Trump has done, I don't even need to run down his whole resume, but when I just look at 2 impeachments, 88 criminal charges, 34 he was convicted of, to me, that alone should be disqualifying. Like, why isn't there anything that legally that prevents him from even being on the ballot? And I know they got Section 3 of the 14th Amendment. Yeah, but Supreme Court shot that down.
Well,
left it up to Congress.
The people who let him off the hook were Mitch McConnell and Kevin McCarthy. I remember talking to Kevin McCarthy after we impeached Donald Trump in the House. And I said, and Kevin McCarthy and Mitch McConnell are talking about how terrible it was, what he did on January 6th. And I said, well, this is the reason we've got to convict him in the Senate. And I said, Donald Trump's done. He's not coming back. His numbers were at 30% in the polls.
Wow.
They didn't think he would ever come back.
Wow.
And they let the guy off the hook in terms of if they had convicted him back then, he wouldn't have been able to run. And it was the biggest error. And I blame the Senate for not having the guts back then to convict him. But this point in the media, which I've heard you make a number of times, is that absolutely right. I mean, no one, they're asking Kamala Harris every detail of every plan. I'm fine. But no one is pointing out the fundamental point of the convictions and the illegality and the total shocking nature of Trump's candidacy.
I want to ask you about the Section 3 of the 14th Amendment, because the Supreme Court, they say it's not up to the state when the states are trying to take them off the ballot. It's not up to the states, it's up to Congress. Congress would have never done that because it was a Republican-led Congress at the time, right?
There was a Republican-led Congress at the time, and the Senate would never have done it. And the Senate was not even willing to convict him of the actual charges. And they all thought, by the way, McConnell, you asked them, I'm sure it'll come out when they're in their biographies, they all thought that what Trump did was an impeachable offense and convict him. But they said, why should we upset 30% of our base? Because his numbers were down at 30%. Why should we upset 30% of our base when the guy's going to go away anyway? And we're going to have a new generation, Nikki Haley, you remember Ron DeSantis was their big thing. They all thought Ron DeSantis was going to win.
Yeah.
They had written Trump off. They thought Trump would go away quietly. And that's why they didn't want to put their necks out to upset 30% of that base.
I think the biggest problem is that nobody treats Trump like the actual threat that he is. The DOJ didn't treat him like that. The media doesn't treat him like that. Voters don't treat him like that. And so it's just like, if there's no consequences to your actions, what are we supposed to do?
And I think we also take for granted the segment of the population that he inspires. And I'm, the good people and all that, but it's something about that that 35% that you're talking about. They're not going anywhere. And if you have that kind of base, especially going into a primary, you're well positioned. And then so many other people, my colleagues, even at the State House in South Carolina, just all keep falling in line because they're so worried about their own political futures and not about the country. And I think all of us over these next 7-8 days left, we need to be aware of that. And no one can sit home. I'm telling all the brothers out there now that can hear me, don't have a non-vote protest vote against the Democratic Party. We can't afford to do that this time. And we just cannot afford to do it. And after this election, whatever grievance you had, if you voted just, and felt whatever, just take it up with the elected officials and hold us accountable once we get elected. Elect Kamala Harris on November the 5th and then hold all of us accountable as elected Democrats. I mean, that's my call for the brothers out there that can hear me.
And the media is scary. I mean, look at all these people, these billionaires who are owning the newspapers.
Washington Post, LA Times.
Suddenly they're saying that, we may not want to endorse because Trump may win. Now, what does that bode in terms of the media actually standing up to him if he wins? This is the classic tactic of authoritarian leaders, that they intimidate any dissent. And it's not that people often wonder, well, how do they get to power? It's not that people suddenly all start rallying around them. It's that they get enough of a base rallying around them and they put enough fear in everyone else to say, okay, we're going to, as long as they don't come after us, we don't want to get in the way.
That's right.
Well, go out and vote, and we appreciate you guys for joining us this morning. Really do. Thank you.
You got an election coming up too, right?
Oh, yeah. November the 5th. I'm on the ballot too, guys. J.A. Moore, State Representative.
J.A. Moore, South Carolina, and, of course, Representative Roques. Thank you guys for joining.
I do, too, in California, and we got to win, not just my state, we got to win four Democratic House seats out of California to take back the majority, so we can have Hakeem Jeffries as Speaker of the House.
All right. That's right. Well, it's the Breakfast Club. Good morning. Morning, everybody. It's DJ NV, Jess Hilarious, Charlamagne the Guy. We are the Breakfast Club. Good morning.
Yo.
Now we got Jess with the Mess coming up in a little bit.
We do. We're going to get into the Hot Boys reunion, y'all. I was in New Orleans. I was there. I seen it in real time. Man, I ain't never witnessed nothing like that.
How was New Orleans? I love New Orleans.
Well, it just felt like it was home for the weekend. Like, it felt like that, too. All my Uber drivers wanted to talk about the fact that, like, they just knew you was in town for that. So they wanted to talk about, like, oh, I got a cousin that grew up with Baby. And,
it's a small town. Everybody knows each other.
Yeah, like, they, going through all the myths of, Cash Money and the Baby G's and all that stuff.
Did you go out or did you just did the show?
I ate at, I went to the brunch spot. I went to, what is Mondays?
Mondays.
That's
one of
yeah, I went to
Larry's
Larry's spot
Larry
Mondays. Shout out to Larry too. He made sure I was good,
Shout out
taking
to
care of
Larry.
all that. I had a bartender named Jen and a waiter named Bree. The combination of those two, and I was there by I had a great time. The best lemon drop I had. I was like, was this pre-made? This mix is so crazy.
You said you was there by yourself?
Yeah, I just went real quick to the brunch.
That's a sign of confidence.
Oh, you don't know me by now? Sign of confidence. I ooze it. Are you crazy?
Okay.
You went to the bar by yourself?
Well, I was only there for like 30 minutes because I was headed to, Amazon had the Little Louisiana Fest Con, and they did a panel.
Okay.
So I moderated the panel with everyone from the Amazon music team about what they were doing in New Orleans and being a black creative. And then after that, we went straight to the festival. So I had to go change. So I didn't have a lot of time Saturday.
Okay.
But I just wanted to get in one of like Larry's spots. So
Did you go out at night or not? You was tired.
I didn't make it either night. No, that's not true. Friday night we went to Bourbon Street after we did the Culture Creators Dinner. We had a time.
Ain't nobody try to holler at you while you was eating by yourself? I'm sorry, I didn't mean this to go back there. I'm just asking. Nobody try to holler at you?
Why are you all in my business?
I'm just asking. I mean, that's because that is a very that's a sign of self-confidence, and it's a way to assert independence. When you see people like eating alone or going to movies and stuff alone, it's dope.
I had a great time.
Oh, you got some new numbers.
I ain't getting
well,
no
you
new
ain't
numbers.
got no type of poker face. You are the easiest person to interrogate.
I really don't. My friends
Look
always
at
be
you.
like, your poker face is horrible. We could never rob a bank with you.
What was his name?
Don't do it.
I literally met my waitress. Her name was Bree, and the bartender, her name was Jen. The lemon drop was amazing. I had the grits with the catfish and the shrimp and the crab.
Okay. Yeah.
I didn't make it out
accent
either on
got
Saturday.
You, huh? The accent got
baby,
you. Somebody wrote, "What's up, baby?"
Oh my, I love that.
All right. When we come back,
God, the
we got
accent
Jess
of
With The
live
Mess.
music. I would never leave there.
Don't move. It's the Breakfast Club. Good morning. Salute to everybody in Delaware. I just want to salute to all my family and friends out in Delaware.
You got family in Delaware?
You.
Oh.
I'm here
with you.
Yeah, I'm saying just shoot to my family and your mom.
And be getting a dose of me being my caretaker life as the oldest child in the family. He's never experienced
thing
this.
I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, my grandma's having a small procedure today, and I'm here coordinating live from New York. My family as they.
I just wanted to give you a hug. Just the way you're dealing with all your family members on one call.
Envy, this is light.
Jesus.
This is light work. I can do it in my sleep.
I'm glad I'm an only child. All right, well, let's get to Jess With The Mess with Laura Rosa.
News is real. Whether it's Jess Hilarious, Jessica Robin Moore, just don't do no lies. She don't spare nobody.
Worldwide Jess, worldwide Mess.
On the Breakfast Club.
She's a culture shoot
with Lauren LaRosa.
I'm back, and I got the mess.
Talk to me.
So, Little Louisiana Fest went down over the weekend in New Orleans. During Little Louisiana Fest, the Hot Boys reunited for the first time in over 15 years on stage. Rob 49 opened up for them, and I was there. And when I tell y'all the energy, like Charlotte keeps making it a point to be like, you were in New Orleans, and I get it because you felt like. You just felt it. Like, you really just felt it.
Just hit different.
My God,
just
it
like
hit
Kendrick's
so different.
pop-out show hit different because it's in L.A.
Yes.
This hit different because it was in New Orleans.
It hit so different. And I know that there have been so many conversations. You remember back at Essence Festival, it was supposed to be the reunion. Then Wayne did his own thing. So I was curious. I'm like, yo, how did this all come about? Because not only were they there, but y'all, they were in great spirits. Like, they were so happy. So we talked to, I did the live stream, the pre-show live stream with Amazon on Amazon Prime and Twitch. And we got to talk to Turk, Juvenile, and Manny Fresh. Let's take a listen to Turk, because what I learned was that Lil Wayne was the one who made the phone calls to put it all together. Let's take a listen.
I'm more happy than the fans, I believe. You feel me? Yeah.
Was it emotional for you when it finally came together? What was the moment? Because Juvenile said that Wayne was like the connecting piece. Like, everybody listens to him, right?
Yeah.
So was it a call from Wayne? Like, what brought it all back?
A call from Wayne. Yeah.
What was that like?
A call from Wayne. It was like, me? You calling me? You feel me? It was like a God answered prayer, you know what I'm saying? You know, sometimes you have a lot of adversity. You have a lot of people trying to stop things from going forward. You know, just to get that right energy to finally come, you know what I'm saying? Man, Weezy, you know, it's God. God worked through Weezy, and what y'all gonna see tonight is nothing but God.
I'm glad they were able to get it done.
Yeah, Wayne, the only one who could have brought it together because he's the one in the position of power. Like that's Wayne. Like you know, they said by the year 2000 Wayne was going to tear this game up, and he did that. So now you know what? Let me come back and bring it all back together.
And we also too, for time's sake, I didn't throw this in there, but I wanted to mention it too. When I was talking to BG and I was asking him, like, man, when you were locked up, did you think that this would be like happening? Like, I know that you're watching them and they're doing well. Wayne's doing well, Baby's still doing well, but did you think that you'd be here right now and this would be happening? And he said to me, he was like, honestly, I felt buried alive when I was there. Like, because everything just kind of stops and people are moving, so you don't really know what will happen. When BG came out on that stage, y'all, I literally just stopped and started recording the crowd. He didn't even have to sing. The way that they like received him, I was like, wow, like they mean so much to that city.
They grew up with him in New Orleans.
Yes.
They grew up with him.
Yes. We also talked to Manny Fresh, because remember Manny Fresh was up here at the Breakfast Club with Juvenile, and I asked them will we get the reunion. They were like, oh, we gotta have the conversations. Come to find out, they knew the whole time it was gonna go down. Let's take a listen.
Last time I saw you, Breakfast Club, we were trying to figure out if this would happen. Now we are here.
Yeah, I told y'all, speaking into existence, it's gonna happen.
Man. You already knew it was happening, though.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, wait, did you know then, months ago, that this was going to happen?
Yeah, the first half of the deposit got
okay.
with my bank account.
The money that came through.
Yeah, I got the first half of it before I talked to y'all.
Right.
Okay.
So I was like, it's going down.
Y'all played that so well.
I thought that was lit too, because it was like, okay, it's been months in the making. Rob for 9 mentioned that too. He was like, no, Wayne's been working on this. Like, he been wanted this to happen. Now when also too, you guys heard Mouse Jones in that audio. Shout out to Mouse Jones and Wayno. They hosted the pre-show with me.
Mouse,
as
Wayno,
well.
my guys.
Now when they came out on stage, because Wayne had did like a melody of songs, and then he brought them out. Manny Fresh actually came out and brought them out. Let's take a listen to that. They did Hot Boys. That was the first song they came on stage to.
Y'all got everybody separate. Now let's do this together.
Yeah, so he was like, y'all had everybody separate because Wayne did it. Wayne did his songs. BG did his songs. Turk did some songs. Juvenile did some songs, and then they brought everybody out. They did Hot Girl, Baby came. Baby was there as well too on stage with them. They did Back That
Back That Ass Up.
Oh, Back That Ass Up. I didn't know I could say that word. They did a bunch of different songs, and then when they ended it, Wayne was like, man, you know, I'm so happy to be here. Shout out to my brothers. But watching them on stage together, I have videos that I posted to Bronco Grinding. It was literally like little kids, like little brothers just reuniting, and they were so happy.
We on Fire was the perfect song for them to come out to, because they all go back and forth. You know what I'm saying?
There's one
so they
video
all do
where
like
they're
4
doing
bars
that.
and come back and forth. Like that's the perfect song for them to come out to.
One video I have, they're literally on the front of the stage, and like Wayne's hopping in front of BG, then BG hops, then Turk. Like it was just, I was
That's
like,
dope.
man, you felt the love from the stage, and even in talking to them, I felt the love. Now there was one point toward the end of the show, because Wayne was honored. He was given a key to the city, and Master P came out on stage, which I also thought was dope, knowing the history between No Limit and Cash Money and the Hot Boys and all that. And Master P was telling people like Wayne is going to be the first person in New Orleans to receive a star on the New Orleans Walk of Fame on Canal Street, and they gave him the key to the city. But then Wayne had, you know, something to say about the whole Super Bowl conversation. Let's take a listen to that.
During my lifetime, the first Super Bowl was here. I made sure I bought tickets at the beginning of the season. I did the same when I moved to Miami, and I was wishing my team make it. And guess who made it that year? The mother Saints. I was able to give my mama that sweet. She was able to bring my family and other people from New Orleans, and they had a ball. That moment I said to myself, I want to be on stage for the Super Bowl one day in front of my mom. And I worked my off to get that position, and it was ripped away from me. But this moment right here, they can't take that, man. They can't take that from me.
So everybody, of course, you know the word ripped away from me, and then you play Mr. Carter after. They're like, oh, these are shots at Jay-Z. Again, you're igniting that whole conversation. And I will say,
I do wonder, was Wayne promised something? That's what I want to know, because he's he's very entitled, or he was promised something. I would like to know which one it is.
Well, he had a conversation, I thought, after. I seen an interview he did after, I thought, and he was in the dressing room, and he was talking about that he, I guess, felt like it was his already.
But that's what I mean. Was it a sense of entitlement? Or was he promised something?
I don't know.
I would like to know.
But when I heard that, I had actually went backstage because this was after, like, he did more songs after the reunion happened.
Right.
I was like, yo, I need to take a break. Went backstage, we watched it on the monitors. When I heard Ripped Away From Me, I said, oh, Wayne is starting to fire again. He's starting to fire again. But it was a really, really great night. And I know you said that you saw some people asking about why Drake wasn't there. I didn't feel like Drake needed to be there.
I seen
no
Jermaine
shade.
Dupri said, you know, he's a hip hop lover and he felt like Drake missed the moment. But
I disagree with Jermaine.
Drake said it was a reunion.
It would have been.
It had nothing to do with him.
Yeah, it would have been really weird. Not weird, like awkward if Drake was there. No shade, because he just didn't fit. Like,
yeah, that's what he said. He said it was a Hot Boy reunion. He was there last year, but he was like,
y'all don't realize how long Lil Wayne has been around. Lil Wayne's been around since like 97, 98 when him and BG was doing the Baby Gangsta projects together.
Baby G's.
So that Hot Boys thing has nothing to do with Drake.
Yeah,
has nothing to do with Young Money.
Even Manny Fresh, right? Who, you know, has produced a lot of those songs.
Yep.
A lot of the show, Manny Fresh even took a step back and let them have, like when they was doing that bar for bar going back and forth, Manny Fresh stepped back. He just let them go. So Drake being there would have been really like out of place.
It didn't make sense. It wouldn't have made sense.
9 was like, I know my audience is different than Wayne's. I'm just here to support. You know what I mean? It was really their moment. And y'all, when I tell you that sold out crowd, that was a real sold out crowd.
Drake was having his own moment in Toronto. That was the first time that the Toronto Raptors retired a jersey ever. It was Vince Carter. So he wanted to be there for his people.
That's right.
And be there to throw some salt at DeRozan.
I guess.
We're going to get into it.
All right. Well, that was Jess with the mess. Now, Charlamagne, who you giving your donkey to?
We need Donald Trump to come to the front of the congregation. We'd like to have a word with him.
All right. We'll get into that next. It's The Breakfast Club. Good morning.
The Breakfast Club. Your mornings will never be the same.
Donald J. Trump is calling for a total and complete shutdown of Muslims entering the United States.
Wouldn't you love to see one of these NFL owners, when somebody disrespects our flag, to say, get that son of a bitch off the field right now, out, he's fired. He's fired!
Trump, please step up to the congregation.
Yes, you are a donkey.
When Mexico sends its people, they're not sending their best. They're bringing drugs, they're bringing crime, they're rapists.
He's a jackass.
Hey, man, I'm just here to piss MAGA off. Donkey of the Day for Monday, November 4th goes to the 45th President of the United States of America, Donald J. Trump. Tomorrow is Election Day. And, you know, I will never lie to you and tell you that who you vote for will solve all your problems. That is just not true. That is just not accurate. But who you vote for can make your life a little bit better, or it can make it a lot worse. And I don't know about y'all, but I'm tired of the country flirting with fascism. Okay, we at some point have to realize the nuclear weapons that we are playing with. I started to say fire, but we're not playing with fire. We playing with something a lot worse. And I don't understand why so many of us can't see how this man, Donald Trump, just continues to play in our face. I will never understand why Republicans chose this man to represent them again. It's mind-boggling to me. I mean, damn near any conservative could have represented the GOP better than this, but instead they continue to prop up the most divisive president in American history. I really have asked myself, what is God trying to show America through Donald J. Trump? And I really believe in my heart of hearts that he is just a reflection of so many people and systems in this country, just a whole outdated way of thinking altogether. It is my sole belief that Donald J. Trump is the Frankenstein monster of white supremacy. Okay, white people don't even know what to do with Trump. This is what happens when that privilege and power goes unchecked. It eventually cannibalizes the very system that created it. Okay, that's another story. Let's get back to why Trump is getting donkey of the day to date. Okay, over the weekend, he made a couple of statements that would be disqualifying for anyone else, but not Trump. By the way, I don't even know what disqualifying means anymore, because there is no real qualifications to be president. And Trump has shown me there is nothing you can do to not be able to run for president either. But this weekend, Trump said two things. First one, when folks like myself would say, when folks like myself would say what he said, people would say I was overreacting and I was talking crazy. But I always said, Trump isn't leaving the White House if he loses in 2020. He damn sure tried not to leave by leading an attempted coup of this country. But this weekend, he said the quiet part out loud. Let's listen.
On the last Sunday rally before Election Day,
We had the safest border in the history of our country the day that I left. I shouldn't have left.
Former President Donald Trump told a crowd of supporters that he shouldn't have left the White House after the 2020 election, and took an aggressive jab at the media while describing the protective glass around his podium on stage.
And I have this piece of glass here, but all we have really over here is the fake news, right? And to get me, somebody would have to shoot through the fake news And I don't mind that so much because I don't mind.
Trump's campaign quickly put out a statement after the Lancaster rally, saying in part the president's comments weren't about the press, but instead about his own personal safety in light of 2 assassination attempts against him earlier this year.
A lot to unpack there. Eddie, isolate the second part for me about the media. I want to come back to that. I want to talk about the first part of what he said. Now, maybe he meant he shouldn't have left, as in voters shouldn't have voted him out. But when you look at the fact he tried to stage an attempted coup on January 6, 2021, and you look at the fact now that he's projecting, and by projecting, saying how Democrats are going to steal the election, even though the only people currently doing everything they can to suppress the vote is the Republicans. All right. They are already purging voters and trying to restrict the 2024 U.S. election vote. In Georgia, they are suing to block hand-returned mail ballots. They just lost 2 back-to-back lawsuits in North Carolina and Pennsylvania. Republicans were challenging voter registration procedures. They are the ones trying to manipulate the election. But we will get to that after Tuesday, because it's going to be a lot of that after Tuesday. Trust me, because Donald Trump is not going to accept the results of this year's election. Just like he didn't accept them in 2020. It's just this time it'll be a lot worse. But I will say, nobody will ever deprive the American people of the right to vote except the American people themselves. And the only way they could do this is by not voting. You know who said that? FDR. Okay, now the other reason Trump is getting donkey today is simply because he said he doesn't mind reporters getting shot at. You just heard it. The man has already said he wants to jail journalists. He's suing CBS right now for $10 billion. The man once sued Bill Maher. In 2022 at a rally, he said that if reporters don't reveal their sources, he will put them in prison until they do. And now he said he don't mind if reporters get shot at. Listen.
I have a piece of glass over here. And I don't have a piece of glass there. And I have this piece of glass here. But all we have really over here is the fake news, right? And to get me, somebody would have to shoot through the fake news. And I don't mind that so much, because I don't mind that.
And Trump's campaign spokesperson said the president's comments weren't about the press, but instead about his own personal safety in light of his 2 assassination attempts. The president's statement about protective glass placement has nothing to do with the media being harmed or anything else. It was about threats against him that was spurred on by dangerous rhetoric from Democrats. President Trump was stating that the media was in danger and that they were protecting him and therefore were in great danger themselves and should have had a glass protective shield also. The man said to get to me, they would have to shoot through the press, but I don't mind that.
Right.
But yet his campaign said he was stating that the media was in danger. Yeah, they're in danger because you putting them in danger by encouraging people to shoot through them if they want to shoot at you. This is the type of playing in our face that I'm over. Okay, nothing to see here, folks. I'm tired of flirting with fascism, doing this dance with authoritarian rule. Y'all not tired? We keep talking about all this violent, divisive rhetoric coming from politicians, but it's only coming from one person. And then you have everybody telling the truth about that one person. Now, my favorite thing about these comments is how Trump supporters right now, as they listening to me, they are playing games of Twister by themselves, trying to justify why he said what he said. That's why I'm not talking to them. Okay, I want to talk to us. What we doing tomorrow? Abraham Lincoln once said, elections belong to the people. It's their decision. Sadly, it's up to us to stop all of this. Okay. Personally, I don't think you stop dictatorship through votes. But since Merrick Garland and the DOJ didn't do what they were supposed to do a long time ago, here we are. Okay. Naomi Klein once said, democracy is not just the right to vote. It is the right to live in dignity. Tomorrow, we get to show the world if we are indeed a dignified country. Or not. Please give Donald Trump the biggest hee-haw. We shall see.
This is the same thing he did with January 6th. He said all that stuff and it was like, I don't know why that happened. I didn't say it like that.
It's unbelievable.
And then people died and then...
The man literally said he wouldn't mind if people shot through the reporters to get to him. And then his campaign people said, well, that's not what he said. Like as if we didn't hear what he actually said.
Right.
All right. Well, thank you for that donkey today.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, when we come back, Nancy Mace will be joining us, U.S. Representative for South Carolina.
That's right.
And we'll talk to her next. It's The Breakfast Club. Good morning.
The Breakfast Club.
Morning, everybody. It's DJ NV, Jess Hilarious, Charlamagne the Guy. We are The Breakfast Club. Jess is on maternity leave, so Lauren LaRosa is filling in. And we have a special guest in the building. We have Nancy Mace. Welcome.
And thank you for having me. Great to be here finally.
What's happening, Nancy? You know me and Nancy went to high school together?
I think I've heard
She
you
looks
say that
so
before.
much younger than you. Shut up. How was Charlamagne in high school that you remember? Was he a bully?
No, I don't. I don't know if we knew each other. He was only there for a few months, but we dropped out of the same high school the same year, and our moms taught school together. And
well, she dropped out.
You got kicked out. Right.
They came and arrested me.
Why'd you drop out?
I had been raped by a classmate of mine at 16, and I just not your fault. It happens a lot, and I just decided I couldn't go back to school. At that point, I'd kind of given up on myself and my parents. Mom was a school teacher. My dad is retired Army, and they're like, if you're going to stop going to school, you have to start going to work. I don't know what your parents said to you, but mine were like, go get a job. I got a job at the Waffle House on College Park Road in Latson, exit 203, and I was a Waffle House waitress for a couple months when I decided maybe I wanted to get my high school diploma and not be a Waffle House waitress the rest of my life.
So how did you go from Waffle House to being a U.S. Congress representative for South Carolina? I love that.
Well, I had it's steps, and it's also, God's hand in some ways, divine intervention. You talk about that a lot. But I would eventually go to college, and I went to the Citadel, the Military College of South Carolina. It's a place where my dad went. There had been no women there in 154 years, and I was the first, when I applied, I was the first class of women to go there. I ended up graduating the first woman from the Citadel 25 years ago this year. I'm feeling my age, feeling kind of old. And then the rest is sort of history. And I started my own company in 2008. I did a little entrepreneurial work. And then I ran for State House in 2017, 2018. I won. I was served for 3 years. And then this seat, I won it from a Democrat in 2020. I flipped the seat.
The Post and Courier asked the question that a lot of people ask: What side is Nancy Mace on? Because you challenge Republicans a lot, but then you vote, a lot.
Well, actually, and I wrote that op-ed because I want people to ask a question and then answer it. I'm actually of all 435 members of the House, I'm the 22nd most bipartisan. So I'm like almost top 20 most bipartisan. Yet I get pilloried in the press by certain media outlets that I'm a raging partisan. Am I conservative on most issues? Yes, but there are a lot of issues where I'm maybe to the left or socially moderate on. I do a lot of civil rights work. I do a lot of work for women because I'm a survivor of rape. I've been through domestic abuse, and I know how terrible our laws are at the federal and the state level. But I've worked a lot. Khanna, you talked to him earlier. Again, Ro and I do a lot of tech and cybersecurity computing type of legislation together. But it's not sexy. It's not clickbait. It doesn't get you likes when you're on X or views when you're on Instagram. It's not the sexy thing that the media likes to talk about is when we get along. They like divisiveness. It pays ads. I mean, that sort of thing. But I'm actually been really effective in working with both sides of the aisle. But I also call them out. Republicans and Democrats alike are the reason that things cost so much with inflation.
How do you deal with, because with your, the experience that you had with being a survivor of rape, I know that, you do get a lot of pushback because you're pro-life, and you have a pro-life voting record, but you push back on other, exceptions, for abortion when that conversation happens on the Republican side. That must be a lonely place to be.
I will tell you,
it's a little confusing for some people too, probably.
I have no friends in Washington. It is an extremely lonely experience when you're calling out both sides, or even when you call out members of your own party. There's so much middle ground, and there's so much we can do for women together, and yet neither party wants to do it. And you see it on both sides of the aisle. They just use it as a political wedge. But what have we done for women? What have we done substantively for women in the last couple of years? I would argue very little. And so I've been fighting really hard. I have bills that would address domestic violence, rape, incest, voyeurism, revenge porn, a lot of issues, IVF, contraception, birth control. I have a whole portfolio that I've focused on that I believe both sides can agree on, because we're not doing enough. We're just further dividing ourselves by having these arguments when there's 95% of the things. Even when you talk about abortion, I'm pro-life, but I have a 15 to 20 week second trimester limit. At some point, you got to say this is an infant that deserves life. Most people don't want abortion in the third trimester, but all of us think first or second trimester. So there's, even if you're pro-choice, you likely have limitations around the second trimester too. And so I just believe there's a lot of common ground, and we're not having those conversations.
Are you a Trump supporter?
I voted for him.
Why?
How? Well, I mean, in my party, the man who has been leaning on women's issues on the forefront has been Trump. So for the first time in our party's history, he added to our party platform this summer at the Republican convention IVF, that we want to protect IVF, that we want to protect women who are victims of rape, victims of incest, the exceptions that I just spoke about. No one else has done that before. He put in the party platform, we want to protect contraception and contraceptive access. Those are things that had never been done before. And so for me as a woman, like I have someone that I go to. I bend his ear on women's issues because that's really the thing that I've been harping on the last couple of years are women's rights, balancing the pro-life with pro-woman. I think you can do both.
Does he listen? I heard people say, I heard you say that he listens to you.
I feel like he does listen to me, and then he's taken steps to put those things in the party platform despite people saying, well, maybe we don't want to do that. He did it anyway. And I think it's really important that we have someone that isn't beholden to other organizations or big money, that he does what he believes is right. Even if you disagree with him, I think we can all agree he's not really beholden to any one person. He's doing what he thinks is the right thing to do.
He might be beholden to Putin.
I don't know about that. Nobody wants Russia to win. I don't want Russia to win, and I'm a Republican. I think the idea is abhorrent. You have this trifecta now with Russia, Iran, and China. And it's very dangerous, very dangerous. We've got to stem that tide and break that up at some point. It's going to become a real problem globally.
Now, the narrative has been is Donald Trump is racist. They believe he's a fascist. What's your thoughts on all of that?
I don't believe so. So I've done a lot of civil rights work. So I had a bill signed into law when I was a state lawmaker. It was a prison reform bill for women. And I modeled it after the First Step Act that Trump signed into law, prison reform bill in December of 2018. And it was bipartisan. And when you look at the impact of that, it's improved the lives of 90% of the individuals that it has helped improve were Black Americans.
So question, if Vice President Kamala Harris wins, right, and she wants to legalize marijuana, would Republicans in Congress vote for it, or would they say no because it's a Democratic president?
I don't think it matters. I mean, there are some of us, not all Republicans are for it. I actually have a bill that would be federal reform. It's descheduling. In order to do cannabis, rescheduling's okay for now, but you have to deschedule it and decriminalize it. And at any rate, so I have a bill for that. It doesn't matter who's president. If that can become law, I would support it. But not every Republican supports cannabis. There are fewer of us that do. I'm one of them that does. But I've worked with both sides on cannabis. I've worked with both sides on issues related to mass violence, for example, women's issues. There is a lot of common ground, but you have to have the courage to actually raise your hand and say, we're going to do this work no matter, even if it costs me my next race. We need to do it because it's right for the people. And there's just not a lot of that in Washington.
All right, we got more with Nancy Mace when we come back. She's the U.S. representative for South Carolina. It's the Breakfast Club. Good morning. Morning, everybody. It's DJ NV, Jess Hilarious, Charlamagne the Guy. We are the Breakfast Club. We're still kicking it with Nancy Mace, U.S. representative for South Carolina. Charlamagne?
Talk to us about this bipartisan border bill that Republicans and Democrats agreed upon. It was
in the
supposed
Senate.
to be signed in, and then Trump said, no, don't do it. Why didn't that get done?
Well, it never passed out of the Senate. And so I did to that bill. We never voted on it in the House. The House actually sent over H.R. 2, which was a conservative border security bill in May of last year. That bill came through the Senate, but it never passed the Senate, so it never even got to the House. So in that particular bill, and I read it with my staff, like the debt ceiling bill, there were good ideas in the debt ceiling bill, but on the next page you would see, oh, there's the loophole that totally skirts around the good idea. That bill was the same way. So it was essentially, when you read it, there would be a good idea on page 1, but then on page 2, there was a loophole that would give Secretary Mayorkas, for example, carte blanche to do whatever he wanted. There were loopholes on every other page, and so it really wasn't worth the paper it was printed on. Was it going to do what it was intended? And my problem is the lack of honesty, the lack of integrity, and the lack of truth. Just tell the people the truth, and then they can decide for themselves if that bill really is what you say it is. Because oftentimes it's not. What Washington likes to do too is they'll title a bill, oh, this is rainbows and unicorns for all people. And then you read it has nothing to do with rainbows and unicorns, right? And so there's just a lot of, I think, performance and magic. You know, it's not what it is.
With the performances, like in politics that you're talking about, right? So, like, how does it work with you? Like, so for instance, if Kamala Harris is elected president and you have to work with her, there has been times like the CNN moment where you got in trouble for saying her name wrong and people were upset about that, and then Kamala doesn't know what a woman is, those remarks. How do you then sit with her? Like, do you guys have conversations behind closed doors first to get all that out the way so you can work together, or does that not even come up? Like, how do you remove the performance that happens?
Yeah, so I'm always willing to work with anyone who's willing to work with me. And oftentimes if staff are open to working together, like I have a rule in my office that we don't block anything. If someone wants to do business with us, if someone wants to work with us regardless of party or political affiliation, we will do it. I mean, I've sponsored bills with progressives. I've sponsored bills with people on the Freedom Caucus. So all the folks. But I mean, in that particular instance, I felt like I was being ganged up on air. A lot of people haven't been able to say her name right because her name wasn't been in the news every day. I know how to say it now. It's Kamala. I've got it down. I've got it right.
Got it, girl. Go ahead.
But one of my issues too was being ganged up on as a woman live on air, and then the hypocrisy during the commercial breaks of, hey, can I grab a selfie? And you know, I don't mind it. We'll have the colloquy on air, and you do whatever you want to do. But then behind the scenes, you know, send me a kissy emoji, tell me how gorgeous I am, tell me we look good together, and all that whole thing, because it was just kind of an act. And so it's like, I'm just going to call it for what it is. I was probably the first person in Congress that entered into the congressional record a text with a kissy emoji.
I don't think it was a mispronunciation. It was when you said,
I'll say her name however I want to.
I can say it however I want to. And I was like, Nancy had a drink.
I did not. But, you know, during the commercial breaks, you know how it is. You're taping and you're doing this. And it was just, the hypocrisy was what was grating me, because behind the scenes on commercial break, begging for the selfie picture, you know, hitting on me, all that stuff. And I was like, okay, this is...
Oh, so that happened and then y'all came back?
Yes. Yes. It was all going on at the same time. And so that's why I was just like, okay, it's not okay to label somebody and gang up on them in public, but then have a completely different position in private. I don't like hypocrisy, and I don't like people who aren't being honest.
Talk about the Violence Against Women Reauthorization Act, because some people say, you know, you say you're a champion of women, but you voted against that.
Yeah, well, I voted for a clean reauthorization. So the first one that came through had some, I believe, like red flag laws that they were putting into it. And I think we have to balance constitutional Second Amendment rights with violence against women. And so I voted for a clean reauthorization of that bill. And in fact, I've gone back since then, because when I dove into, I just got through a domestic abusive relationship. There was domestic violence, and I went through the system, and I was like, wow, this is how women are treated. And I learned about the Violence Against Women Act, what it did to protect victims' rights, and also what our state does to protect victims' rights. And I realized there's even more we can do. So since that time, I have created legislation. One in particular, there's a revenge porn civil tort in the Violence Against Women Act, but it's only civil.
Revenge porn?
Yeah, it's civil. It's civil, not criminal.
Oh, gotcha.
So it didn't make it a crime at the federal level. So I have a bill that would fix that. There's a civil tort that would allow you to have a civil right of action for revenge porn at $150,000. So I have a bill that would increase it to $500,000. There was nothing in there about voyeurism. So I have a bill. Voyeurism is when you record someone without their knowledge or consent or permission in an intimate way. So I've gone back and I'm doing things to actually strengthen it, now that I've learned so much about how victims' rights are and are not protected, and what it does and does not include. And I like to do small bills that will make a big difference. A lot of times people will do really large, comprehensive bills, and they'll put things in there that people can't agree to. I like smaller bills that are up and down. So these are all different pieces of legislation that will hopefully get an up or down vote. And if you disagree on something, you have a chance to say no. I don't like these big Christmas tree bills, but let's do one thing at a time and have small parts. Small bills make a really big difference. And when you do these massive bills, things get snuck in, and you're like, what did we just pay for?
Why do you do that, though?
I don't know. We have these giant spending bills, these continuing resolutions or omnibuses that DC will manufacture some sort of crisis. Government's going to shut down if we don't do this. And so then they have these giant spending bills, and all of a sudden you realize your tax dollars are going to pay for trans kid clothing. I mean, things that most people would not want to agree with. Or, this is what happened last year. It's just, what did we just spend money on? I voted for gay marriage twice, but I don't think you should be spending federal government money on just gay nursing homes. I think all nursing homes, right? Why are we just specifying
gay nursing home?
Yeah, there was $1 million last year. I mean, I didn't know there was a thing. There were gay nursing homes apparently, but
y'all better watch what y'all say. They're gonna use y'all in another ad.
I don't want tax. I don't want tax dollars paying to incentivize illegal immigration. I mean, there's just things that I think common sense wise, we don't need to be paying for. Government doesn't need to be paying for sex change surgery. I mean, just those things will get stuffed in there if you don't read the fine print. And that's why I vote against almost all of the fine print when it comes to the big spending bills, because they're just ridiculous things in there that you and I, both sides would say, the average bear would be like, the average person would be like, why are we doing this? Why do we vote for that?
So tomorrow's election day. So what's your message to people?
We're asking people to get out and have their voices heard and to vote. Mm-hmm. And we need as many people to come out and vote on election day. It's your right as a citizen. And we want to make sure that your voices are heard. The polls open at 7 a.m. and close at 7 p.m. in South Carolina.
Okay.
All right. Good luck.
Thank you.
Nancy Mace, ladies and gentlemen, and we appreciate you for joining us. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
And it's The Breakfast Club. Good morning.
The Breakfast Club.
Morning, everybody. It's DJ Envy, Jess Hilarious, Charlamagne the Guy. We are The Breakfast Club. Let's get to Jess With The Mess with Lauren LaRosa.
News is real. Whether it's Jess Hilarious, Jessica Robin Moore, just don't do no lies. Don't do no lies.
She don't spare nobody.
Worldwide Jess, worldwide Mack.
On The Breakfast Club.
She's the coach of shit.
With Lauren LaRosa.
I'm back. And I got the mess.
Talk to me.
So over the weekend, the Raptors played the Kings, and Drake and Chubbs were there for the game. And there was a ton of video that went viral from this game because Drake and Chubbs were on the side. Chubbs, for those who do not know, is Drake's like right-hand man. He's a part of OVO.
Yep.
They were on the sidelines of the game, and there's 2 points. So the first video that went viral was Drake just standing on the sideline, and the way that him and Chubbs were looking at DeRozan as he walked by, people were like, oh, there's shade, there's tension. And then there's another video that fans pointed out where you can see Drake's lips say something, and fans are saying that he said the P word. I can't say that right.
No.
Yeah, the P word.
What, pretty?
No, wasn't that. I mean, they can be pretty, but that's not what the P word I'm talking about.
Cat.
Pussycat.
There you go.
Gotcha.
Yep, that he said that toward DeRozan. Now, at first you're like assuming maybe this is happening, and then it was very direct. So Drake began to do some sideline commentary. Let's take a listen to what he went down.
Don't get me fired up tonight. Not gonna lie. Shout out to Vince Carter, man. I don't think people understand that's our first retired number. Unfortunately, we're playing this goof tonight, but it is what it is. You know what I mean?
Speaking of national treasure.
Yes, if you ever put a DeRozan banner up, I'll go up there and pull it down myself. That's the answer to your question. Is that what you're going to ask?
No. I didn't mention
well, you
that
know, DeRozan and Kyle.
Yeah, well, shout out to Kyle.
The statues are next.
Well,
yeah,
they are. Drake, thank you for joining us in the fourth quarter.
I'm getting cut.
You're not.
What is Drake mad about? The fact that DeMar DeRozan was in the Not Like Us video and he got a mention on the Not Like Us record?
That's what the streets is saying. Okay, now
that's corny.
Now listen. Now listen.
I think Drake was joking there. I think that's sarcasm. I think he was joking and playing.
I mean, even though Drake do be trolling, legendary at these games and all that, you know what type of troll that's going to be and how that's going to be picked up and received if you do it. So
I think he knew that.
So if you know that then you stirring the pot.
He's joking. If
you say that, you stirring the pot.
So what about all the ice grilling and calling him the P word when he walked by?
Did you think Drake was going to fight him?
I ain't asked you that. I said, what about the ice grilling?
I think the whole thing's trolling.
And the calling him the P word. You think all of that was trolling?
Well, we don't know if he called him the P word. You got people that said they read his lips and that's what his lips
said. It looked like it when I saw it.
I don't know.
Now, okay, so DeRozan was asked about this and he responded. Let's take a listen.
Tonight's broadcast, Drake said, if you ever put up the DeRozan banner up, I'll go up there and put it down myself. What's your reaction to that?
Well, he gonna have a long way to climb to take it down. So tell him good luck.
Now, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, if Drake was trolling, it just shows how much of a poor decision maker he is. Because the reality is, the reason he's really, 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 really lost his battle is because of the way he's handled everything after the fact. He shows that it's bothering him. So even if you're trolling, you're still showing that you're bothered.
And when DeRozan was here, we asked him about it, and he said, Kendrick is hometown, but I mean Drake is cool. Like he was.
Yeah, Drake is cool, but Kendrick is hometown.
Let's take a listen.
Now you played in Toronto for years, but then Kendrick's from Compton. Drake is from Toronto. That's your guy. How do you choose what you're gonna get into and what you're not gonna get into at that point?
Love them both, but at the end of the day, it's like I'm from Compton. like my city, where I'm from, where I'm born, like where my family still live, it's like that comes first before anything. Any real person will understand that, you know, and that's just what it is.
Have you spoke to Drake?
No, I haven't talked to him.
You ain't send him a text to be like, you good?
Blocked him.
Nothing?
You good.
Don't send him no football emojis.
Listen.
Oh, it's Super Bowl.
Listen, it's dope regardless of how everybody look at it. I think it's dope. Go back to the Compton thing to see somebody from Compton headline the Super Bowl.
I need a source close to Bageman. Envy.
Yes.
All of this, is it really this serious? It's music.
I don't know.
Is it really this deep?
I didn't speak to the sources about that, but
You are the source.
But DeRozan's probably his jersey is going to get retired in Toronto. Like, let's be honest, he played there 9 seasons. He's an all-time leading scorer for the team, so his jersey is going to get retired there.
Regardless of any of that, I'm just saying, is all of this worth like we heard about the unfollowing on the Instagram. Now he's on the sidelines and they ice grilling and he's jokingly whatever.
I don't know these people's relationships. I have no idea.
I just don't think it's that deep.
Why you say the man trolling?
Though.
You were so quick to say he trolling.
Like it was trolling to me.
You wanted to be the president of the Beige Committee 10 minutes ago.
He called him a goof.
Now you want to step down.
There was no handshakes, no hugs, no nothing. They was ice grilling like he was
trolling.
Birdie on above the rim.
Like they was laughing. I don't know their relationships. I don't know.
I want to see if Chubbs really crashed something. That's what I want to see.
No, you don't want to see that. See, stop that.
You do not want to see that.
No, we don't. We don't want to see that. Salute to OVO. We don't want to see that.
But I'll tell you this, man. Drake has handled this all wrong. Okay? The fact that he just always seems so bothered. I've never seen a diss record get in somebody's spirit the way that Not Like Us and all of this stuff has gotten in Drake's spirit.
But you never seen a diss record this big.
No, I haven't.
Well, that's the reason why.
I really just thought
next year, Kendrick going to win a Grammy for it. Kendrick going to win a Grammy for Not Like Us and Euphoria. Then he's going to turn around the very next week and do the Super Bowl.
You know what I think we would need to know? I need to understand how deep was Drake and DeRozan's relationship.
And that's what I'm saying. We don't know how close they were.
Versus his and Kendrick's.
That
because
nasty for some reason just now. I don't know why.
It was the how deep.
Because he was in Toronto for 9 years.
How deep make you just...
We don't know if Drake held them down. We don't know. You know, we don't know. That's what I'm saying. We don't know how cool they were.
How deep was it, Envy?
I don't know. Past my pay grade. I don't know.
You don't get to that level of deepness.
No, not that level of deepness.
Don't go past the knuckles.
Your pay grade is...
Only get that level of deepness with one person.
Who?
Diddy?
No, you.
Diddy gone. You don't go deep.
You better really talk about crash out. You better stop. You saw what happened to Ray J. You better relax over there. Like that Palicento. You said that an hour ago. You were here talking about Chubby to crash out.
That'd be so funny if them 3 little boys come and give Charlamagne
Drake
a
with
wedgie.
that Palicento. Spell Drake. Just
they need it. But seriously, Drake need to stop acting so bothered. Like, let it go. He really should have took the break that he said he was going to take. After he took that L,
but that's
he should have went away for a year.
I'm going to climb up there, rip it down myself.
You can't get on a broadcast like that, and you Drake in the middle of all this and say that.
No, you cannot. You know what that's going to do. You already look super bothered. We know you bothered by it, and then here you come with this.
Look at you. What you doing over there? That's like that's you communicating to the beige people through that dance. What's happening?
What's wrong with you?
I don't know. I'm trying to figure out.
You're gonna make it rain pee. Whenever you see beige people doing that little dance, they're gonna make it rain pee. And dirty yellow colored, canary colored urine.
What's the name of the people Drake said he needed to have? He sent out the call for them to come. The what?
Owls?
No. I
you gotta ask OVO Eli.
It's not a call for them to come.
There's no call for like
that sounded crazy too. We gotta wrap up.
I don't know. Like, what call are you talking about?
Envy, do your dance while he do the ooh.
No, that is Jess with the mess. Now when we come back, we got the People's Choice.
Come on, Envy.
That's what owls do, don't they?
Oh my God, I hate this place. It's the Breakfast Club. Good morning.
The Breakfast Club. Your mornings will never be the same.
Morning, everybody. It's DJ Envy, Jess Hilarious, Charlamagne the Guy. We are the Breakfast Club. Laura Rosa filling in for Jess. All right, now we got to salute Nancy Mace for joining us, U.S. Representative for South Carolina.
That's right. Salute to Nancy Mace and salute to Khanna and J.A. Moore. Khanna is also the U.S. Representative for California. J.A. Moore is also an elected official in South Carolina as well, man.
Oh, and I just want to shout out to Amazon, the Amazon music team. Thank y'all so much for bringing me to New Orleans to witness history. The Hot Boys reunion.
So dope.
The live stream, the pre-live stream that we did on Amazon Prime was lit. Shout out to Mouse, Jones, and Wayno, my co-host for it. It was such a great time. I can't wait to join the Amazon music family again.
All right. When we come back, we got the positive notice, the Breakfast Club. Good morning. Morning, everybody. It's DJ Envy, Jess Hilarious, Charlamagne the Guy. We are the Breakfast Club. Lauren LaRosa filling in for Jess. And I got to salute, thank you, Lauren. My son had an amazing time. He had his went to his first professional soccer game. He had a game over the weekend where they won, and right from the game, he went straight to the New York City Football Club's playoff game.
Oh, they text me too. They text me and said, "Envy's here." And blah blah blah. Thank you. I was in New Orleans. Everything was so big.
Such a great time. So it was 18,000 people in the arena. They're actually building an arena right next door. So we had a great time, man. Hopefully we get a chance to go again. I know the next game is away, but hopefully the next time they in town or they play Messi, I get to take my son again. But he had a great time.
Messi was there this
time? No, Messi wasn't there this time.
Okay.
He was there last week. And I ran into I would say what would I call her? A radio icon as well, legend in the radio game. I ran into Miss Info.
I know Miss Info.
Yeah, Miss Info was there with her family, so I ran into her. So it was good to see her.
I don't know her, but I know who she is. She was like one of my.
Had a good time catching up with her.
Miss Info, you know, she paved the road for people like you, Lauren.
Absolutely.
Miss Info is on my wall.
Entertainment news reporters. I think that is a lost
journalist. Yeah.
I wouldn't even call it journalism. I just think it is journalism.
She started off with the source.
Entertainment news reporters in particular, that's a lost art. Like people actually doing entertainment news in a substantive way.
Yes.
Yeah.
So salute to Miss.
I would have freaked out if I saw her.
Yeah.
What? Miss Info? Like, are you crazy?
That's the homie. Well, salute to Miss Info Minya O. All right. Now you got a positive note?
I do, man. My positive note just goes back to Franklin D. Roosevelt. It's something I said earlier during Donkey of the Day, but I really just want to stress this since tomorrow is Election Day. Nobody will ever deprive the American people of the right to vote except the American people themselves, and the only way they could do this is by not voting. Have a blessed day.
Breakfast Club, bitches!
Y'all finished or y'all done?